There we go. Hello, everyone. This is Ron with ZinoNation episode 14. I am joined tonight by Bill, the drone reviewer, who's sitting in for the great Marcus Crawford tonight. Prayers go out to Marcus. He has lost his mother recently, and he left a few days to go to the ceremony in the Las Vegas area, and then he's taking kind of a side trip now. He was at the Grand Canyon today, but he'll be back next week. But Bill's more than able going to be able to fill his shoes today. And we're also joined tonight by DeMarco Moore, better known as SFU Grad 03, one of the ZinoNation Hall of Fame chat members. He's been with us almost since every show, and he's also big in Bill's show and on Coast to Coast Drone Chat. So, we're going to get into his whole story, introduce him, and we have a lot of good stories to go over. Anybody watching, go down in the show description and you'll see some of the topics we're going to cover. We'll cover more on that. If you guys bring up other topics, we'll jump to them too. But I want to throw it to Bill, the drone reviewer, and check in how he's doing tonight. Bill, how was your day?
I am doing fantastic, Ron. I've had a great day of flying yesterday. It was I came in and I looked like I just had a shower when I came in. It was so hot yesterday, but had a good time. Spent a pretty much a full morning plus testing the FT Aviator and also doing some beta testing for the DJI Smart Controller, having some fun with that. Got some good footage to put out, and I know we're going to be talking about the FT Aviator here in a little bit, but my only regret is that Marcus didn't leave me his credit card so I can hit the buy button tonight. That's my only regret.
Us, the credit card, us.
Well, thank you, Bill. And Bill mentioned the Aviator. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, join Bill, the drone reviewer, myself, and my friend Tom Polo. We're going to have a show all about the FTA Aviator. It's going to be Aviator Nation tomorrow night, Bill. The special Aviator Nation edition. It's going to be all. Tommy's had the Aviator in his hands for a while now. Our friend of the show, Curtis Dart, made sure he got one early, so he's had plenty of hands-on time. I mean, Bill's just done his own unboxing in his first flight, so they can kind of compare notes. I'm sure Tommy may have some tips and tricks for Bill and the viewers. And also, we want to go over, we're not going to touch on it much tonight because we're going to save it much for tonight. There's been recent reviews of the FT Aviator by Kelly Shores of Ready Set Drone and
Ken Herron.
Ken Herron of the Ken Herron channel. He didn't have another name for his channel, does he? And they had kind of differing opinions of it on different drones. So again, we're going to get into that all tomorrow night. We don't want to, ruin it, but I'm going to tease you a little bit, the audience. We may or may not have a little drop-in by Tommy Polo tonight. He may have a little sneak peek video of it, but that may or may not happen. So right now, I'm going to throw it over to DeMarco. I want him to kind of give his little bio, his little Wikipedia bio here of anything he wants to talk about and how he got to this point now, where he is in his drone life. And I don't want to give any spoilers out, but if anybody else doesn't know, DeMarco is the one. He's turned into like a Zino dealership over there. He supplied two of our friends, John Cuppi and Bill Thomas, with a great deal on the little Zino plus an extra battery. And I know they both love DeMarco now. So on that note, I'm going to throw it over to DeMarco.
All right, guys. Thank you, Ron. Yes, I have two Zinos. Oops. Did you lose me?
No, you're good.
You got me? Okay. Good. Sorry about that. Just a little background on me. I am new to the drone world. I didn't start till June 2018. I had RC cars back in the 80s and 90s. I had an RC10 and a Hornet and a Grasshopper and all that though. But for years, I didn't have the time to play with them. But like now I do. So last June I started with the Bugs 3, and that was the hardest thing I've ever done. Teaching myself how to fly on that was so difficult. I almost gave up because it was so difficult to learn. Then I went to a Bugs 5W. Then I went to a Vizio. it's XX12. After that, I went to the Zino, and with the Zino, what actually happened too, I actually bought the Zino on pre-order and didn't get it for about 2 months. I got it right when I got it. There was this video out about it not working for, was it I think it was Android. Android.
Mm-hmm.
And then so like I didn't fly it for a month, and one day I just said, you know what, screw it, I'll just take it up, and it worked fine. Well, I flew my Zino for a couple of months, and Ron, I'm not sure if you actually know this, I actually won what is the Kelly Shore Zino a giveaway.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
right.
I won that. So that's how I got 2 Zinos. So I think the Kelly Shore Zino, I flew maybe 5 or 6 times. My own Zino, I probably flew it maybe 25 times, and that's it. So, but then like after the Zino, I moved up to Autel Evo, which I stayed up for a while to get, and then I moved over to the Mavic Air, which my wife doesn't know about yet. So just keep
Better download.
So, but like I am new to this whole game. I love watching your guys' videos with Marcus and Kelly and Ken, all those guys. I mean, like all the videos I love. So just keep on putting out that those are good videos. I wish I had time to make videos though, but I've got some young ones, and they take up most of my time. So.
Well, thank you for that. And I do want to ask one question off that. Does the Zino you want off of Kelly Shores, does it fly better for you than it did Kelly?
I think it did. I never had a problem with it once. I know he crashed right before I got it. There was no damage to it at all. But like, I never had any problems with it. I'm not sure what actually happened with him. I know he updated it right after his first video. But like I never had any problems with it at all. In fact, I took it out, I think, to a max to about 3,200 feet in let's see, like in my subdivision too, and never had a problem with it. Yeah.
Good. I want to take a break here and shout out some of the chat room. We got BC and the FK, Bob, Cindy, and the Foster kids in here with us tonight. Greetings. We got Ethan Mitchell in here with us tonight, who was a recent guest on the show, a great guest on many shows. And let's see here. We have let's see. So we got Al Duran's with us. Hello, Al. Award-winning Zino photographer, a video photographer who recently had a crash with I believe it was the X8. I mean, sorry, for our X8 people, Marcus is our being the X8 expert, and he's not here tonight. But the only Zino update I have is that Marcus updated his camera firmware last week, and to nobody's surprise, it's a slower bit rate with this update, and the camera quality really went down. But the good news is Marcus was able to use the QC guys for going back to a certain software and reinstalling the older camera firmware that he wanted. So it's not easy, but he was able to get his back to the good camera firmware. So all's good with Marcus's Zino now. And I think it went along with him on his big trip. So it's in the car. So hopefully he'll have some video when he gets back. If anybody has anything, or do you want me to jump into the stories?
Let's go to the stories, Ron.
Okay. Number one on the list, and DeMarco just mentioned the MJX with the Bugs 3. I also had a Bugs 3. It wasn't my first drone. I had a little bit more experience when I got the Bugs 3, and I don't know if DeMarco explained it away, but the Bugs 3 is a fully manual brush motor drone, and it has a lot of get up and go in it. I mean, most of us start with a little brushless toy drone, so kudos to DeMarco for starting out with a man's drone right out.
Ron, I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't know what I got into when I got this. Hey, for the people who don't know, that thing is a rocket. I mean, it's a little rocket, and it is fully manual. There is no return to home. There's no there's no altitude hold. So, but it is a fun drone. It is.
Okay, well, I don't even know if it's for sale yet, but there's a new MGX drone called the MEW4-1, and it's kind of surprising this is showing up. It's on Half Chrome, had it on their channel. They reviewed it, and because they just released the Bugs 4W recently, and this kind of popped up out of no place, and it kind of looks like a cross between the Anafi, because it has the long body like the Anafi, but also it's thicker in the back where like the Mavic is, either Mavic 2, Mavic 1, so it's kind of a combination of both. And I think Half Chrome, they were kind of pretty happy with it, but they said it flew well. It has downwards facing sensors like the Zino doesn't, but of course MGX keeps releasing these cameras and putting these drones and putting these subpar cameras out on it. That thing has a full axis gimbal to go all the way up like actually the Anafi does, but it has no stabilization. So you got this kind of nice looking flying drone, and you got this terrible unstable video. And I think the price is more than the Zino, with basically a toy camera. So I don't know, what did you guys get a chance to look at it all? What's your take, Bill?
Yeah, I looked at it a little bit, and they're basically saying it flies. They like the way it flies. They enjoy that. But the real kicker is the camera, and they said the camera from the Tello is better. And I'm like, oh wow, okay. The camera. If they say the camera from the Tello is better than this, then yeah, I can't understand why they go to such lengths to put. It's a good looking drone. And it has a lot of promise as far as flying and everything, but to put a subpar camera in something like that, I'm like, wow, that's just like, I don't understand. It's like, what are they thinking? I know they want to try to save money, and I know they want to try to get it at a certain price point, but I mean, come on, I mean, they could cut it up a couple of notches. Somebody's going to pay another $50 or $75 for a better quality camera and something like that.
Yeah, nobody can release a drone that costs over $100 today and put that quality camera on it anymore with no stabilization. I mean, DeMarco, would you actually pay any money at all for a camera that has basically a toy camera on it in this day and age?
Well, here, I mean, knowing what I know now, no. I mean, but maybe a year and a half ago, I might. I mean, not doing my research and
right.
Bugs is a name. Like knowing what I know now, no, I wouldn't buy that. I think if that camera was $175 to $200, I would think about it. But not at $400 or $500. I would not. No.
Yeah. Now, don't get me wrong. This new MJX. This isn't a Bugs. It's a MEW. I mean, it has. Unlike our Bugs 3, this has GPS and downward sensor. So, I mean, it's a completely, automatic flyer, but still, but I mean, the Bugs 3, for instance, you could take like a GoPro or a GoPro knockoff and mount it on the bottom of that thing. You can get some pretty good video, because unlike a lot of the brush motor drones, the Bugs 3 didn't have a lot of jello. So you could get decent video from the Bugs. As long as you
Watch out with the Bugs 3, because it will fly away on you.
Yeah. Don't put an expensive GoPro on it, because you may not get it back. Put a little cheap $50 knockoff on there, right?
Yeah.
So if anybody has any questions in the chat about that, we'll well, Ethan Mitchell's saying that at the price point they're charging for this MGX, he said you're in the Anafi territory. I mean, why would you pay almost $300 where you could just tack another $100 and some on it and get an Anafi, or just get the Zino for that?
Yeah, definitely.
So
that does not make any sense.
Okay, you guys ready to move on to story number 2?
Go for it.
It's an article here that Parrot stops making basically consumer grade drones, which means all their toy drones like the Mambo. I have the SWAT here. They made a whole series of these little toy drones. They're discontinued, plus the Bebop series, the popular Bebop 2, and so on. And they're just going to focus on the Anafi and I guess other more consumer and enterprise drones. Did you get a chance to look at this story, Bill? It's been out for a couple of days now.
Yeah, I did, Ron. And you know, I can kind of understand this, but I think one of the things that I think is a big concern, a lot of educators use these parrot and offies, or the parrot toy drones, excuse me. A lot of educators use that, and I think it got a lot of youngsters interested in drones and from an educational standpoint, and it was fantastic. But now, since they stopped making them, it's like you better go out there and buy spare props, spare batteries, everything, because that's going to be it. You're not going to be able to get that. However, it kind of doesn't surprise me, because Parrot has been having financial difficulties for a while. And because I'll go back to what Billy Kyle, when he said, when he went to the event, and he said it was unlike anything you've ever been to, because he was telling me personally, he said it was wall-to-wall people in there. It was so crowded. It was very difficult to even get a drone up in the air to test it in there. It was completely the polar opposite from a DJI event. It's like they found a room in a hotel or something like a large, and just used it. It was a larger kind of conference room, and it was just he said not a good experience as far as that was concerned. But there's been a shift. There's been a renewed interest, as you guys know, in the Anafi right now, and especially with the announcement of the Anafi Thermal, and the U.S. government has said that they're going to contract with Parrot. So Parrot is trying to logistically fight. I think for their I think I don't want to use the word fight for their lives, but they're trying to turn their company around, and I don't blame them in this instance, because I've flown the Anafi before. I absolutely love it, and if I had Marcus's credit card, I'd hit the buy button right now. But on that hand, and I think they're going to do really well. I mean, they've shown how great of a drone it is. And with the thermal, it's going to provide a lot of first responder organizations with access to this capability that would be out of reach, that might not be able to afford a $3,000 Mavic 2 Enterprise Dual, but they can afford the Anafi Thermal. And it gives them, I think the camera on the Anafi Thermal, as far as the total camera package on there, I think it's better than what's on the Dual, if you ask me, because I had a limited time with the Dual, and I'll tell you what, I was not very impressed with the camera on the Dual. It was not what I would consider, a first responder grade type camera that they would need. However, from what I have seen in footage that I've seen from the Anafi Thermal, I think it looks to be a better camera for me. So I'm kind of excited for Parrot, and I'm kind of excited that, because, as Ron, their app is stellar. It's direct. And I know Ethan's on the chat too. It's easy to find things on that app. It's easy to charge, USB-C, boom, you're charging it up. It's extremely portable. I mean, it's a win for Parrot. It really is. And I'm glad to see that they're kind of focusing on this, and that they're going to focus on the thermal, and that the U.S. government is going to contract with him. I think it's a big win for Parrot right now.
We've had these conversations before on the show that in the Parrot app, as opposed to DJI, a lot of the functions, you don't have to dig as many menus down to get it. Like if you need a certain function, it may only be one menu down and not 3 or 4 seated. And that's what I like about the the Parrot app. Everything's
definitely
not buried in the levels. But DeMarco, what's your opinion on Parrot focusing?
Well, from someone who, I totally forgot about this though, but my first drone back in 2011 was an AR drone. In fact, like there's a video on my page from that, and the camera was awesome. There was no controller, like you had to use your phone, and that's back when like smartphones were the size of your palm too, barely too, so like you could barely see it. I crashed it and broke it right outside here years ago, and like never fixed it again though. But I wish they would concentrate on that $400 to maybe $800 range, $400 to $700 range, and that would be gold for them. That would be gold. I mean, because like I've seen all the videos of yours, the Anafi, and wow, I mean that's a really good bird for that price. But just stay in that range.
I mean, Parrot was ahead of a lot of the other toy drone makers. They had the infrared sensors on toy drones before some of the better drones had them. You know, the Mambo. This is the Mambo. I think the Mambo flies even better than this one. But I mean, the Mambo just sits there like a rock, and the Mambo's like 2 or 3 years old and it had it. Yeah. Listen, we got some breaking news from Ethan Mitchell in the chat here, gentlemen. Ethan, referring to what Bill was talking about a few minutes ago, said, I did speak with a Parrot rep last week, and they did confirm that there will be a Nafi version 2. They did not elaborate on a release date or specs. Could just be the same drone with an upgraded frame. So we've heard that from, I can't think of his name. He's in here. Jet Martin has said the same thing. He got that information from a rep. And also, Ethan adds on here, this is something Bill just spoke to. The app for the thermal also has analysis built in, where the DJI Dual does not have the analysis built in. So were you aware of that, Bill?
No, I was not until Ethan posted that in the chat. Now, that's great because, there's one of your buddies there, DeMarco's buddies there. All right.
All right, go to bed. Go to bed. Sorry, guys.
No problem. No problem.
The door open too.
This is not the police coming in, Bill.
Yes, we're not going to have that swatting incident anymore. We're going to be done with that stuff. We're gone. We're gone from that. But no, that's an excellent point because one thing that the Dual does not have, it's when you have when you're looking at the screen, okay, on the app, it's and I forget, it's not the DJI Go 4 app. But when you're looking on the app, it will tell you the temperature, the area that you touch in, which is great, but it doesn't show on the recording when you're when you have a recording, when you're taking a recording of that. Say a lot of times, you may want to take it back to analyze stuff. You can't do that because it won't have that temperature. The only way you can get that is through a screen recording. Or here, the Anafi Thermal is going to have that, and that's huge because you may need instant analysis if you're out on the field with that kind of stuff. So I think that's a huge thing.
So you guys are all in agreement that they should concentrate on the like the Nafi and the thermal and whatever, and not put so much energy into the toy drones.
Oh, definitely. It's gonna be a win for everybody.
There are a ton of toy drones out. I mean, a ton. I mean, that's what Bugs should do. I mean, stick with that, Bugs. Yeah.
And we've talked about this before. I think the problem with the toy drone market is it's kind of disappearing, and everybody that was flying toy drones are now either flying the FPV racing drones or they're flying camera birds, like maybe not Mavic 2 Pros, but they're flying Anafis or Zinos or Fimi X8s or whatever. They're not really buying that kind of a $100 toy drone anymore. Again, it's just me saying this, but I think the market is split, and that $100 toy drone market is dying. But all my opinion. But anything else to say on this topic, or should we move on to number 3? Number three.
Go for it.
Okay, I don't know if you guys know Colski. I don't know Colski's name. He's a British drone reviewer, and I'm sorry, Colski, I don't know what part of Britain you're in. In fact, next time we do a European show, we got to try to get Colski on. He's a great reviewer. He's got a bunch of good drones. But anyhow, he's had the Fimi X8 for a little while now, and about a week ago, he had a flyaway with his X8. He never recovered it. Last time you saw the video, it was in a bush or a tree. And since I posted it, I think just today, he posted a video update, and I haven't watched it yet, where, he contacted both Fimi and Banggood to see what they would do for him. And the title of his video makes it sound like Fimi didn't do anything for him in the customer service. Have either of you guys seen his video? Or?
I saw the video.
I didn't see the update.
Yeah, I saw the video. He contacted, I want to say it was Fimi, and they actually gave him the runaround, and then he never heard from Banggood, I think it was. But they were telling him to look at the app and look at the coordinates on the GPS, and he went to those coordinates and didn't find anything though. So, and that's $500, $400 gone.
You can get it for around $400 if you watch the sales.
Yeah. And I mean, somebody like him too. I'm pretty sure that he walks through all the steps and knows what he's doing.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. And also, he's probably sold a lot of X8s for him with his video.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, and I make it up because we don't really have our X8 people, but we have Gorilla Man, and I can't remember. We have like 4 or 5 guys that are normally in here that are big Fimi X8 people. So that's why I want to throw the story thing. And Marcus, of course, is a big X8 man, and he's not here. So anything else we want to talk about on the Colski?
I would be a big X8 man if Marcus would give me his car. I'm sorry, Marcus, you're probably watching tonight, but I'm not really not having fun at your expense, but I sort of am. I'm sorry.
Bill,
you know how much I like you, Marcus.
Ron,
but no, I would love having an X8, seriously. And where I really got, I watched some of Dustin's early videos on the X8, and I kind of fell in love with that, watching some of his videos, and then watching Marcus's videos kind of has sealed the deal for me. So, if and when the planets line up and everything is right, and there's this I get some magical money tree in the backyard, I'll probably end up getting one.
Or if Fimi would like to send one over for review, you'd be happy.
Yes,
I would definitely be happy if Fimi would send me an X8 for review. Fimi, if you can hear me.
Real quick, we have two more people join us in here. We have Greg Pittman joined us, and we have Dennis Neifler in here. They came in a little while ago. And also I wanted to mention Al Duran also has the X8. That's another kind of regular that has the X8. But yeah, I mean, I'm curious of the X8 too, but I mean, like, again, like DeMarco pointed out earlier, got too many drones. I want to use the Fimi. I still haven't maxed that out. I still haven't learned everything I need to learn about my Mavic 2 Pro. So I want to like learn the drones I have all the way rather than take on another one and then not really maximize some of the ones I have now. So, and again, plus waiting for that elusive Spark 2, which we'll get to later on. So how about we're going to wrap up on X8 and move to story number 4, guys?
Go for it.
Okay. I don't know if any of you saw, the great Ken Dono posted a video today about the Autel Evo trade-in program. You can go to Autel's site, and right on the front page, there's a thing where you can figure out what they'll give you for the drone you own. And they're taking DJI drones, of course, Uniques, Parrots. Is that it, Bill, or is it something else?
I think that's a...
And they'll tell you how much to trade in. They give you the price depending if you have it's a 1, 2, or 3 condition. 1 being the best condition and 3 being basically doesn't work. I mean, it all sounds great because I wouldn't mind trading a couple old drones and getting Evo. Like I got a old Mavic 1 sitting around. I'd love to get a good trade in. But when I went to look my Mavic 1 up, they're only going to give you $260 for it. And I mean, I'm sure I could, again, I did this in preview. I could stand on my street corner and get more than that just as a car ride than $260. So I don't know. What do you think of it, Bill? Maybe I'm way off base here.
No, you're right, Ron. I mean, it's they're trying to entice sales, which is always good. I mean, it's always a good thing. But for me, I had the X-Star Premium, and I wish they would have done that with the X-Star Premium.
Oh, they will trade in an X-Star Premium.
No,
they won't take it. I mean, and I'll tell you what, for me, Autel is one of these companies for me. Their hardware to me is spot on. It's stellar. They build the drone, they build it right. But their Achilles heel with the X-Star was the software, the firmware. It was just, as I said, they didn't measure updates in terms of days. They measured it in terms of weeks or months. It was horrible. It was horrendous. That's why I ended up, selling it and getting my original Mavic Pro was because of that. And, it's like, go figure, when I tell people, for what you're getting, the dollar value for what you're getting, it's like, imagine, I'm trying to remember the name of that company that buys cell phones. I've used them before too. Okay. You're not going to get what the phone's really worth, but it's a way to get it quickly. Okay. And I think it's the same here. It's a way of being able to do this quickly. I mean, okay, if I don't like a Mavic Pro, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm either going to be like Ron and stand on the street corner with a billboard, or I'm going to go out. I'm going to post it in one of the groups out on Facebook, or I'll go out on the Mavic forums and post it out there, and use PayPal, and boom, somebody's going to get a great drone at a great price, and I'm going to get what I think that's worth. So, if you're looking to try to do something like that, that would be the incentive. I mean, I'll tell, I give them credit. They're trying to stir sales, but for what they're offering, the value on the dollar, it's not there. I mean, it's just not there at all.
DeMarco, did you get a chance to look at the trade-in program?
I did see that. I felt the same way. I love my Evo. I love it, but there's no way that I would give a working Mavic Pro $200. I might as well go on eBay or even on Craigslist and sell it for $500. I mean, because like that's a decent price for an old Pro, not $200. I don't know who would do that though. But like, I love mine. I love it.
Ethan Mitchell mentions in the chat here. He said that the Mavic 2 is only going for $300, and Will and I talked about that in the pre-show. And they offer the same price for the Mavic Pro as they are the Zoom, $300. Bill, would you sell your Mavic 2 Pro for $300?
$300 plus another $1,000 deposit.
Who would do that? Who would do that? Who would do that?
Somebody who's really desperate for. Well, DeMarco, you brought up a good point when earlier before we started in talking about the no-fly zones with the Evo. I know that does attract a lot of people, and I agree, especially for you. It's great for you because you're in an area with a lot of NFZs. I mean, that's just that works stellar for them, and I think it's great for them. But I mean, the technology, and I think both of you guys will agree with me, the technology that's in a DJI drone, the Mavic series, the new Mavic 2 series. I mean, and I'm sorry, I know the Evo is a great drone, but the technology that's in the Mavic 2 series is above the technology in the Autel Evo. I mean, I'm just going to come out and say that right now. The capabilities of those drones, the Mavic 2 Zoom and the Mavic 2 Pro, it's world class to me. Okay, it's just you cannot. There is not a better portable drone on the market today than the Mavic 2 series. Period. I'll make that. Okay, but you look at $1,000 and under, then that price point. I say, the Evo, that's going to be in your $1,000 range. In your $1,000 and above to $2,000 range, it's the Mavic 2. It's a winner all day long and twice on Sunday. I mean, that's the way.
When I bought mine, I was looking at an Evo with 4 batteries. Like there was a special going on. So Evo with the hard case with 4 batteries, I want to say it was $11.99 or $10.99, one of the two. And I thought long and hard about either that or like a Mavic Zoom Pro Zoom. Thought about that. And the reason why I went with the Evo, it was mainly because of the no-fly zone, and I got 4 batteries compared to 1. That, and then we have some neighbors who had one, and they were flying around here, and the Mavic just landed itself in some field because it flew into a restricted area. I mean, so I wasn't risking that. I wasn't risking that at all. So yeah, I mean, so I went with number 2.
And of course, Bill, remember, I got to say one word to you. A 4K 60 frames per second.
Yeah. Bingo. Yeah.
I repeat another thing from the great Ken Dono. Is it Dono or Dono? I mean, I want to say it correctly. Dono. When he was talking in the same video where he's talking about this trading program, he said even though Autel only makes one drone, he considers them the number 2 drone maker on the market. After who? Do you guys?
I would. Yes,
I would right now. Yeah.
One drone. Yep.
But I got to say this though, and it goes back to our previous discussion that we had here. I think Parrot's climbing up that ladder right now.
Well, Bill, that's a good question. I wanted to answer that. Okay, if we're ranking DJI number 1 drone company, and Autel number 2 drone company, who do you rank the number 3 drone company? Is it Hubson? Or is it Unique?
Hubson. I would say maybe Hubson.
Well, I mean, for all around or whatever, and great value. But I mean, I guess we're kind of ranking who's top end drone, their number one drone, their company.
I would say Parrot, and the reason I'm going to say Parrot is right now, it's not only because of the Anafi and all the regeneration and excitement regarding that. It's going to be they've got a U.S. government contract, okay, and I think that speaks volumes with all the hassle that we've seen with DJI and the U.S. government not trusting them and all that. That's going to bode very well for them, and I think that's really going to propel them up. One thing that I've seen a resurgence lately, I run an Anafi group, and it was kind of dormant until about when the Anafi thermal came out. I started getting at least 3 or 4 a day sometimes. I've gone from like 90 people in that group. It's now like 350. I mean, it's kind of like done a mini explosion as far as that's concerned. And I know Rick Smith, it probably was within the past week or two, put out, why I still fly the Parrot Anafi. And in fact, it was his Anafi that I flew that I had a chance to fly that. And so, but anyway, I know I don't want to get down a rabbit hole here, but yeah.
We have some comments in the chat room. Brian Singleton said you can't go wrong with the Evo, and then Ethan Mitchell said he'd rank Parrot number 2 after DJI. And I mean, nobody's right, nobody's wrong. It's just good to see a difference of opinion, and it's also good to see people happy with other companies. And DeMarco mentioned Hups. I mean, how far do you go down? The Zino. I mean, there's more Zinos probably out there than there are unique drones. I mean, do you know anybody that has a unique drone and that's their main flyer and they're happy with it?
The better question, Ron, is do you know anybody that would want to have a unique?
We have a lot of people that visit all our shows, and regulars, whatever. And I don't hear any of them talk about a unique drone.
I've had one person since I've been doing my live shows, Ron and DeMarco. I've had one person who said that they own a unique, okay, in the 2.5 years that I've been doing live shows. And I mean, imagine how many I've done, okay? And it's just, it kind of like boggles your mind. Well, it's like at first glance, when you look at it, it's a great drone. But then when you see the range limitations on it, it's just like, okay, close the book. Done.
Which one are you talking about? Which drone? That a Typhoon or
the Typhoon? Yeah. The range on that is just atrocious.
We're talking about the one DeMarco that has the six arms on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I don't know what they call that thing, but it's their flagship drone.
I think they call it a hexcopter.
Yeah. But
go ahead, DeMarco.
Back to what I said, for someone who's not educated on it. Like when I first started getting into drones, I remember seeing that and seeing the legs go up and thinking, wow, that's pretty cool. It's got that good camera on it. And at that time, I didn't know much about the Mavic Pro, and the Evo. I didn't know that much about it, though. Now that I know, there's no way that I drop $1,500 on that monster of a helicopter. I wouldn't do that. But there are people out there that don't know.
I think that they try for that big monster drone that we can't come up with the name, but I think it's sort of a cross between a Phantom and an Aspire. Like it's bigger than a Phantom, but not as big as Aspire. It's sort of like in between. And they've updated it recently. It has a wide sensor camera on it. But I still don't see people, at least maybe it does better internationally than it does in the US, but I still don't see anybody having it or talking about it or flying it outside of somebody that got one for review.
I watched that what is it, Captain Drone, and he has one. One.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. Ethan put in the comment section, this is good. With everybody's hardware so good, it's going to be a software race. And that's an excellent point that Ethan brings up here is, who's going to stay on top of the software is probably going to get drone business. And the ones that are more responsive to it are going to sell more drones than the other ones. And again, I'll go back and I'll hearken to my days with Autel. I know they've done better on the Evo, and I know Ken has told me they've done better on the Evo, but they're still kind of slow. They are responsive, but they're like, I'll give you a case in point. Okay. My very first flight with a Mavic 2 Pro, my very first video, I had it. It was the day one. I opened it up, charged it up, got outside, was ready to land it using auto land, return to home. And my wife looked, she's going to hit the garage. So
I saw that video.
You've seen it. And this was started the whole thing with precision landing with them. And I pinged DJI support on Twitter, which, by the way, I don't know if you know this, DeMarco, when you ping them on Twitter publicly, they will jump. Okay. That's one of those things with DJI. They will respond immediately. So that's a good way of getting their attention. And that's what I did. I said, I don't think precision landing is working. Is this something that can be addressed? And I kept up after it. And lo and behold, it wasn't more than, I think, 5 or 6 weeks. And they had a brand new fix in place for that, which really, I mean, from the ground up, they said, this is something that we didn't even think of. We're going to go ahead and put that in. And they did. They got it in, and boom, it was like 5 or 6 weeks later, it was in and it was working like it should. And I'll tell you what, I have tried that. I was testing the FD Aviator. I'm not going to give away any of that testing, but the return to home, even with that, it was spot on. Return to home with the smart controller, it's absolutely spot on. It really just, I can't say enough about that. And the speed that they've done that in has been fantastic. Okay. Ethan Mitchell just posted, Autel has had 4 updates in the past year for the Evo compared to Parrot, with 13 for the Anafi and 14 for DJI Go 4. So there's your answer right there.
Yeah, that backs up what you just said. And also, we got some. I'm sorry to turn this into the unique show here, but the True Drone Review said he has 3 uniques. He has the Typhoon, the Manus, and the Breeze. And a lot of people had the little unique Breeze. It was kind of like a pre-Spark type of drone. And N6 SIS video says his first drone was a Q500 plus 4K, but then later on he says, but now he's flying an Evo. He's loving his Evo and Anafi now, so he's moved on.
What's the price for that? What is it? A Typhoon H? What's the price for that?
The updated brand new one, I'm guessing is between $1,500 and $2,000. Bill, do you know all?
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Yeah. I mean, for something that big, like, you have to be doing some serious photography work, or like really want something that's really stable then.
And true, if I had $2,000 to spend, I could go to the DJI refurb store and get the Inspire 1 with the Micro Third Four camera for about that same price. Mm-hmm. And the Micro 3/4 is even bigger than the 1-inch sensor that Typhoon has and the Mavic 2 has. But we digress going into the big unique thing here. So what's rating this ship back on track again? So we're all kind of in agreement. The Autel trade-in program is a good thing if you just want to get rid of something fast and you don't want to max out. But if you're patient and go to eBay or Facebook Marketplace or whatever your favorite way to sell things is, that's probably your better option if you can be patient and wait. Agreed, gentlemen?
Yeah, agree.
Okay, so we solved that issue. We're solving the world's drone tonight. Okay, let's move on to story 5. And I put this as the what do you call it? The little thumbnail. The Spark 2. I misspelled her. I said the leaker photos. The leak photos. It was by a video by. They were in a video, and I can't think of the guy's name, but he's a pretty big channel on YouTube. Have you seen
Sean something?
Sean, right? Sean Oz. Yeah. Big YouTuber. Have you seen these leaked photos, Bill?
Yes. And I actually watched Sean's video, and Sean has a great channel, and I've chatted with him before. He's a great guy. He even said, I mean, when you watch the video, basically it boils down to, it's just, I'm not looking to get a Spark 2. I just think this looks cool. This would be a cool idea. But then if you look through in the comments and everything, this has been out for over a year, and it's just an artist rendering. It's nothing even on DJI. I mean, Ositalev wouldn't even put this out there because it wouldn't even register on his radar. It was just an artist concept. They got together with their, design tools and put this together. I mean, it looks great. Would I buy it? Heck yeah. I mean, it looks fantastic, but but no, that's just somebody's imagination, putting, pen to paper, so to speak, as far as that's concerned. But no, Sean says, yeah, it's great. Would it be true? It'd be wonderful. Yeah, it'd be nice. But, he knows it's not realistic. I mean, it's just, one of those things. But it's always nice to see things like that. And I think, we will see a Spark 2 this year, to bring up that conversation. We will see one before the end of the year. I think the big thing was, and why everything got delayed, was being able to put that DJI AirSense in. And they probably want to try to keep it under that 250 grams. So I think they're trying to, they're trying to work the mechanics of the weight as far as that's concerned. So, maybe they can get all that figured out. Who knows? But yeah, we're gonna see that by the end of the year.
DeMarco, would you be interested in a Spark 2 if it did come out this year?
I would say this. I would be interested if it came out with a form of OcuSync. I would. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the main reason that I went with the Mavic, let's see, with the Mavic Air, because like it was smaller than my Evo. And like I could travel with it better, this thing, but I would want OcuSync though, because I know like with my Mavic Air, I get out like 700 feet in my subdivision and lose signal. So yeah.
Really?
Yeah. With all the Wi-Fi around in the houses and everything. Yeah.
Understood. I want to ask Bill a question on what you just said. Bill, what DeMarco just said about the OcuSync, is it any way possible that they could put either the newer or the older OcuSync on the Spark and keep it below $500? Is that possible?
It's possible, because I know that's great you bring that up, because I know Rick Smith actually said Lightbridge actually costs more than OcuSync, believe that or not. Okay. I think the problem that they had with OcuSync, and especially OcuSync 2.0, is the physical size of the drone. Apparently the board that's required for OcuSync is a little bit bigger than what the current size of the body of the Spark is. So, the challenge that they have, they want to try to keep that weight down. They're really bent on that 250 grams, especially overseas. It means a lot more overseas as far as that 250 gram rule is concerned. So hopefully they can get that figured out in a body style that will work for the Spark. And I think you will see a Spark. The Spark will not have, people are talking about the folding arms and everything. No, that's one of the things I think people really like about the Spark, is that it's a rigid body frame. And you talk to a lot of Spark owners and they will tell you, they've crashed their drones and they pick it back up, dust it off, and it's ready and it's good to go. So I think that structural integrity with the way it is with the fixed arms, I think they're going to continue that onto another one. And I don't see a huge, if any at all, price increase. But I'm like with DeMarco. I'm really hoping they have another type of system, because I know the Wi-Fi that's with the Mavic Air. I had the same issues when I tested the Mavic Air. It's just, my subdivision was the same thing. I'd get to 1,000 feet out. It was just like, boom, I got to come back home. It's not gonna work. But for me, OcuSync, I think it's just it's like night and day compared to Lightbridge. And if they can get that in to the Spark, I'll sign me up. I'm ready to go.
By the way, Bill, I stole that question from Ethan Mitchell in the chat. He asked if it could come over $500. So I stole Ethan Mitchell's question. And WizBang99 joined us, and he said, "Great evening, gentlemen." He's in the car listening to us on his way home from Ann Arbor, Michigan. So thank you for tuning in the radio in the car.
Go Blue.
DeMarco, I didn't tell you where I lived for 30 years. I lived in Columbus, Ohio. Okay.
Oh.
Ohio. Okay.
Well, I married a Michigander, and we got married in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So.
Oh no! Oh no! It's like stab me here. Real quick story. Okay. I met my wife and moved down to Florida from Columbus. Okay. Her family's all Gators fans. Okay.
Oh.
And then Urban Meyer goes from Gatorland up to Buckeye Land. Okay. And his name was like mud down here. It's just like Armageddon is happens when you mention the name Urban Meyer's down here. It's just, I'm sorry, I had to interject.
That's all right. That's good.
Real quick to Al Duran just posted. He said this is backing up what Bill just told us. He said he's crashed a spark full speed into a tree and it broke all the props, but nothing else. And that's probably because of those non-folding arms Bill's talked about. And I'm in total agreement, Bill. I know everybody, when the spark came out, everybody complained on the folding arms. It's so small. I don't need folding arms on the spark. I mean, it's small enough. The folding arms are just, it's like checking off a box, I guess, for some of these people. Oh, it's got to have folding arms. If you need folding arms if you're big, but you don't need folding arms if you're this small to begin with, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't see that as a big feature either. So, well, I want to thank Bill for debunking those photos, because we're not about spreading false rumors here or whatever. So Bill debunked those leaked photos that showed up recently on the Spark 2, that they're probably just some kind of a artist rendering from a year ago. But do we have any more to say on the Spark 2 or the photos, or should we move on to story number 6?
When do you think it's coming, Bill?
Well, I think it's coming. I think we're going to see it. It's going to probably hit. My guess it's probably going to hit. I'm going to say September kind of a time frame. Okay. And I think if DJI releases anything else, I think, you know, this is just a pure guess on my part. It's going to be something. It's going to be in time for the holidays, and it's going to be a cross between like a Phantom 4 and an Inspire. And it's going to have the portability of the Mavic 2. You know, and it may even have the name Phantom. Okay, it just may do that. You know, DJI is and they've been told resoundingly by the consumers, you know, portability is what we want. So they're going to try to find a way to make a Phantom that's going to be portable and have the capabilities of an Inspire. So look out to your pocketbook, and Marcus, you better get that credit card ready, because it's gonna hurt when you pull it out for that one.
And what about the Mavic Air?
Go ahead. Mavic Air. I had heard the Mavic Air. They were looking at possibly early next year. Now, Airy Remote Pilots Australia, I think is his tagline. From Australia. He's a good friend. He's a great friend of the channel. He's told me he's heard that early next year they're going to come out with a Mavic Air 2, and I think it is going to have a different communication system. I don't know about OcuSync, but I think it will, because, again, you know, that is a drone that, to me, okay, you tweak that just a little bit, it goes from a good drone to a great drone. Okay, and I got to tell you, DeMarco, it's like I would turn that thing on when I had it to test that. It was like you know, I shook a hornet's nest up. Yeah. I mean, it was just like I felt like they were all flying around me when I did that. It was just so loud.
Same thing here. In fact, look, I got the.
You got the Master Airspeed. All right.
They help, but it's still loud. I mean, it's still got that pitch, not as high, but it's still loud compared to this. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Real fast, I want to throw in there that we were joined by Drone Pool. That's Dan. And I got a big announcement. Dan confided with me the other day that he ordered the little Zino. So he's got a Hubson Zino on the way. And when he gets a Zino, I invited Drone Pool to come on the show and talk to us about it. So, Dan, that's an open invitation. And we're looking forward to you getting the little Zino in. And Ethan Mitchell just spoke to you in chat, Bill.
Yes, I saw that. Less noisy with different props. New ESCs can go a long way. Yeah, they get new ESCs on there, and they get, you know, new props on there, and, you know, they can tweak the battery just a little bit and have a different, you know, get rid of the Wi-Fi, do something else, because that Wi-Fi is just it's just as far as the transmission system is concerned.
So I should hit the buy button when the Mavic Air 2 Pro comes out.
Absolutely, you got to hit that buy button. Marcus better get those credit cards paid off, because he's gonna be a very busy man. You know, October, November, December, and January. I'll tell you that.
Hey, Bill, I got the real innovation for the. I know the little Mavic Air can't get a 1-inch sensor, but what if they put a zoom camera on that thing?
They probably could, yeah. They probably could. The thing that I really like about the Mavic Air, again, you know, that portability. It reminds me the portability of the Anafi. That's how portable like a Mavic Air is to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good, good. Story 6, we already covered the Aviator reviews. We touched on that already, and we'll go into deeper detail on that tomorrow night. And the final story on the list here is kind of a story from my good friend David G. Perth West OZRC. You follow Dave DeMarco. He's an Australian drone reviewer. I have the link to his YouTube review. It's a little EX2 Mini FPV kind of racing drone, and all it is, it's a clone of the Bugs 3 Mini. Yeah. DeMarco, you familiar with the Bugs 3 Mini?
That I am, yeah. Which one has a camera? Like one of them has a camera and one of them does not.
Well, guess what? Dave says on the description, on the link it says it doesn't have a camera, but he got the camera. Everybody who used his link to buy it got the camera version. So you get an FPV camera, and this is for $35. And the Bugs 3 Mini cost like $100 when it came out, like, I don't know, year and a half ago. So I mean, I have a Bugs 3 Mini. It's a tremendous little brush motor drone. It's kind of more fun to fly than the big Bugs 3, because I mean, it's just as fast. I mean, it doesn't go as far, but I mean, how far do you want to take a tiny little drone away from you?
No.
Yeah, you just take the goggles on it or whatever. You don't, and I mean, I think it has acro in it too. I mean, but you don't have to fly acro. You can just fly regularly. You put the goggles on. I mean, that thing is a great little thing. So please, everybody, take a look at Dave's video in the link, and he gets a commission off these links. So please use his link. And when he was talking to me this morning, there was only like 35 units left, so they're kind of going fast and whatever. So, anyways, did you get a chance to look at this, DeMarco, the link?
I saw that video. Yeah, that's what. In fact, I looked at. I want to say Banggood or Gearbest had something like that a couple of months ago, though, and I tried to get it and missed it because like came with the goggles and everything.
Yeah,
those are fun drones. Those are fun.
Yeah, I purchased. I got my Bugs 3 Mini last Christmas when it was like $50. I thought, oh, this is the greatest sale ever. And here now it's like basically the same thing's $35. So Dennis Knife was said he's got to run. He said, great show as usual. Thanks for joining us, Dennis. I know BC. I can't say BC and the F Kid's full name, but he had to leave too. So thanks for joining us tonight. So that kind of ends. If we don't have anything more to say on that, that kind of ends what I have on the list here. So if you guys, we're getting close to an hour here, but I mean, I'll open up to anything you guys want to talk about that we didn't cover so far.
Well, I got a video that's going to be coming up, and it's going to really blow people away. Okay. And I don't want to reveal all of it, but I got such a unique perspective of a takeoff and a landing with a Phantom 4 Pro, and it's going to blow people away when I get it out there. It's like about 3 minutes of airtime as far as that's concerned, but it's such a unique perspective. It's really going to be incredible. So that's going to come out later this week. So I'm really looking forward to getting that one together. It should be great. And I should be getting my FT Aviator test video out shortly. We'll talk more about that tomorrow night, but man, I got to tell you this, the one thing that I really like, and I want to talk a little bit about the smart controller and the beta firmware update, because it's huge. And I was, not a lot of people get accepted applying for testing with DJI with the beta firmware. And I did. And the thing that I really like about this is this beta firmware update tests the Phantom 4 Pro V2.0 with the smart controller. And I'll tell you what, guys, it's like, it's almost like Nirvana to me with this, using the smart controller. It's just insane, even with the Mavic 2 Pro, but using it with the Phantom 4 Pro, it's just like off the charts. It's crazy. I mean, I just can't say enough about it. And one of the things that they added with this firmware update was the ability to record audio when you do screen recording, which, if you're holding the smart controller down like this, okay, or put it down, it's not going to pick it up. But if you're holding it up like this, it's going to sound a lot better, although it is a little muffled. And I sent out those results over to DJI. But the thing that I like about it is that the audio is synced up with your screen recording, because a lot of times what I found, if I use an external camera, say my my Galaxy Note 8 and I'm recording my session out there, I can never get the audio lined up with my screen recording because it would just, because of the frame rates. Okay. It just wouldn't line up. And I've had that issue. I've had a challenge in putting together my FT Aviator video, my test video, because of that, because I was using I had to use, well, actually I ended up using, I used the screen recorder on the Note 8 and it was horrible in terms of matching up. But this is what I like about the smart controller. And, I think, I'm hoping that DJI can get out more of them because I know they've been running out like crazy. And I know Ron absolutely loves his as well.
Hey, Bill, Ethan asked a quick question here, and I had the same question. He says, at Bill the Drone Reviewer, does the firmware for the smart controller allow for a Bluetooth mic? And my question would be, is there a port on the smart controller for any type of mic? So you got two questions built in there.
Okay. There's no port that I know of on the smart controller for that. However, they could use that USB-C port for something. I think that's a possibility. As far as Bluetooth is concerned, I mean, it does have Bluetooth capabilities. I haven't used it, but like if you wanted to transfer something off your that you recorded to your SD card or into internal storage, it's Bluetooth. If you wanted to do it, say, like for instance, Dropbox or something, you could do that. As far as the mic, Ethan, that I don't know. This firmware, this beta firmware, all it does right now is that it enables the mic for screen recording at this point. So, and I sent my results back to DJI. One of the other things that's not working is supposedly DJI had taken care of and addressed the issue of live streaming with the smart controller. It's been a real pain. It's been a hit or miss kind of a proposition. And I know I've spent, and I did a couple of videos on it. And, finally I got it to work. But with the beta firmware, they supposedly had upgraded it. It's worse than it was before. And I'm going to be doing a video on that. I mean, it was, I would wait 6, 7, 8 minutes to try to get it to connect, and it wouldn't connect. And, I'm doing this, I do a lot of my videos, and DeMarco, you've probably seen it. That's my backyard. Okay. So I've accessed my Wi-Fi. I'm picking up Wi-Fi. So there shouldn't be any issues as far as that's concerned. And it was just like dead as a doornail. I mean, it wasn't getting anything. So, they've got some hits or misses, but I'll tell you what, with that Phantom 4 Pro V 2.0, it's been a home run so far. I've had absolutely no issues. And in fact, I think precision landing is a little bit better with the smart controller than it is normally with just using the DJI Go 4 app and using the big controller that comes with the Phantom 4.
Wow. Hey, quick shout out here to Parks and Tech. That's Josh. He just joined us a few minutes ago. Parks and Tech had a concert to go to tonight, and that's why he missed the show. He's usually a regular in here for the whole show. And also, I want to announce that Parks and Tech is going to be a featured guest on ZinoNation. Probably in the next couple of weeks, we're negotiating with him behind the scenes right now. We're talking to his agent, but we think we can have one real soon. And I want to throw it over to DeMarco for kind of his final, if he has any final words or final thoughts on the evening. DeMarco?
I would say this. What would you think would be a good beginner drone for somebody? I mean, like, would you put the Zino in that range? And the reason why I asked too, I have neighbors who were would see me out flying, so they were asking me about the Zino, and I was scared to actually recommend the Zino to them because at that time, it was coming out, and then like you have to walk through so many steps when you're first flying. You have to bind, you have to do the compass, you gotta do all these steps, and like I didn't want to recommend it at that time anyway. Now I probably would for at $250. I probably would. At the time I bought it at $369 or $400. I wouldn't.
That's a very good thought there, DeMarco, or and I would kind of agree with you because even the firmware updates are so complicated.
Oh.
You have to have a Windows computer, and you kind of got to know what you're doing. For a beginner camera GPS drone, if they can find one, I still recommend the Spark 1.
Mm-hmm.
Bill?
Yeah.
Oh, I agree 100%. Yeah. I mean, because I know all the pain points that Marcus had gone through, and I know Ron as well, in trying to get that firmware updated. And then I saw, I was watching the QC guy and trying to get the controller updated, and all he had to do was like God, what little hair I have left, I'm pulling out watching this stuff. I mean, it's like it's a painful process, and it shouldn't be that way. Okay.
No.
It should not be that way. I mean, I don't know what it's like with the Fimi X8, but Marcus hasn't really said a whole lot about that being difficult at all. And here's the thing again, I'll go back to what Hubson, with this latest firmware update and having to roll it back. It's like, okay, what was Hubson thinking? Because to me, I'm a software tester. That's what I do for a living. So I test things all the time. So that tells me that Hubson did not test that firmware update if it's so bad that it's just like right away you want to roll back to the previous version. I mean, what you're expecting everybody out there to be your beta testers when in essence, really what happened was you didn't even test it in the first place. Okay. You're just throwing it out saying, oh, here you go. We have an update, and it's not really even been tested. Yeah.
Al Duran agrees with it. He said the Spark is his go-to beginner drone, and he said the Fimi is as easy as a Spark to update. I mean, for the Zino, if you're a hobbyist, if you're somebody that's had a couple, maybe even toy drones, and you know your way around the hobby, the Zino is probably the best bang for the buck. You can get it all day, all night for $250 now. But again, it comes with a little bit of fine tuning and real hands-on. With the Spark, you don't have to even own a computer. All you need is a cell phone to update it and keep it going.
Well, Bill, here, I'll tell you this. The gentleman that I'm talking about, my next door neighbor, he's a Buckeye too, by the way. He was asking me what to get. He is a Buckeye. He was asking me what to get, and I finally recommended, this is like last February, I recommended that he start with a Bugs 2. I figure it's got GPS, it's got a return to home, it's fast, you can have fun.
Yeah.
So I took him out. He got that off Amazon. We actually went out to a soccer field, huge soccer field, and it's got these big light poles going down. I mean, it's a big soccer field. And I told him, I said, hey, just make sure if you get in trouble, just let off the throttle and it will stop. Next, I look up and he's going right at one of these soccer poles, and I couldn't believe it. I mean, I couldn't stop him. Hit the pole, just disintegrated the bird. I mean, it was done. No. And I told him, what is the chance of that? You just had to hit that pole. So I mean, so the Evo and the Zino, I'm glad he didn't start with those. I'm glad he did.
Here's what I would tell him, DeMarco, your neighbor. Go find somebody who's going to sell their Mavic Pro Classic for $200 all sell. I'll give you $250 for it, and then you'll have an extra $50 to buy your Evo, whatever, and I'll take that Mavic Pro Classic for $250. That'd be the buy of the century.
There's a lot of deals like that going around, probably too. Actually, yeah.
So I want to really thank DeMarco for coming to the show tonight. Again, he's been a loyal member of the chat for a couple shows I'm on, a great member of the chat community, and it was just great to get you on here. And what you did for the community, hooking John and Bill up with those Zinos at a great price with extra battery. I mean, you're just a credit to the drone community, really. And again, I'm amazed you have the time to do all this stuff with a young family and your wife working full time. But that's what I love about the hobby. You make time to go out and participate.
What I recommend on the next life, boys, don't have twins. Don't have twins. Don't do it. Run. No, listen. Thank you for having me. I love being in the chat room and watching everybody's videos and everything. And I really hope to see you guys at a spin up too.
Absolutely.
Really and this won't be your last time on the show, DeMarco. You will be back.
Yeah, and listen, I'll post some videos too. I will. You post them, and we're gonna thumbs up and comment on them and promote them to ZinoNation. So you put them up, and we're gonna make you a star. We're gonna make you the next Marcus Crawford. When I first got Marcus Crawford hooked up in this, I think he maybe had 300-400 followers, and now his channel is blowing up. So we could do the same for you, buddy. Marcus has all the boxes in the back of him. He's got the Mavic Pro, all that stuff. I'm sitting there counting the boxes.
Well,
1, 2, 3.
You could pile your boxes, but you get in trouble for your wife. So just go.
Oh yeah.
That no profile background for now until you're a big YouTube star, and you can tell her that they're paying you for all these drones.
Hey, DeMarco, we'd love to have you on Bill on Tuesday Night Rotor Talk Live sometime.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Definitely.
I appreciate that.
Well, I'm more of a Seminole than a Gator fan down here, so I do want to let you know that. Okay.
Well, I tell you what, you guys have helped me. I think of a good name. Yeah. So if I can change my name, I can't think of anything good. Yeah.
How about FSU drone flyer or something like that?
Done.
Right on the air. Well, anyhow. Before I leave, I want to promote it one more time in case people weren't here earlier. Bill the Drone Reviewer tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be Aviator Nation. We're going to have Tommy Polo on us, who's had his hands on it for weeks now, whatever. Bill's going to give us his hands-on description of what he thought they're going to compare to. It's going to be a show you won't want to miss. And then Wednesday night, you want to jump on Bill Thomas's show, Drone Therapy. It's going to be kind of a ZinoNation thing going on there because him and Cuppi have DeMarco, Zino's. DeMarco, you got to I know you're on an upcoming Drone Therapy show. You should be on that one. But anyhow, that's going to be a great show too. And then next week, Marcus should be back from his road trip, and we're gonna have a good guest next week. I can't tell you who it is now, but it's going to be a great guest just like tonight. So if anybody doesn't have anything else, I'm going to sign off and say goodnight. I want to thank everybody in the chat tonight. We had a great group out there. Again, thanks for Parks and Tech and some of them for coming in late. They were busy. Whiz bang 99. So everybody have a great evening. And because Bill's here, we're going to say, Bill, say your saying.
It's a great day to fly.
It is.
I love that. Thank you, Bill.